I stood in the kitchen, gripping the counter so tightly my knuckles turned white. Jillian sat at the table, calm as ever, sipping her tea. She didn't even look up when she dropped the bomb. By the way, Camille's wedding is family only. She thinks it'll be less awkward if you don't come. The air was sucked out of the room. Less awkward for who? I'd been there for every scraped knee, every fevered night, every heartbreak. I'd pictured walking her down the aisle since she was little, and now I wasn't even on the list. "I'm her father," I said, my voice low and shaky. Jillian shrugged. "You're overreacting. It's just a wedding." "Just a wedding. Just my daughter's wedding." I wanted to yell to flip the table, but I swallowed it down like I always did. Instead, I walked to the living room, grabbed my laptop and typed, "Santorini, a week away, a villa by the sea," far from Jillian's shrugs and the sting of being erased. I booked it without a word. The next morning, I packed light, left a note, gone. For a week. Don't call unless it's an emergency. And didn't look back. The drive to the airport felt like shedding a weight I'd carried for years. Santorini welcomed me with blue waters, whitewashed cliffs, and a salt-tinged breeze. The villa was perfect. Ocean views, peace, silence. I kicked off my shoes, posted a photo, "Silence looks good on me," and sipped champagne, reveling in the absence of demands. For 3 days, I soaked in the quiet. Then my phone erupted. Missed calls from Jillian. A text from Camille. "Dad, please call me. I messed up." Even my brother-in-law Colin, who never called unless he was drunk or desperate, had tried to reach me. I ignored it all. I'd spent years fixing their messes. Not this time. Instead, I lay by the infinity pool, beer in hand, staring at the endless horizon. Then Theo called. "Man, you picked the perfect week to disappear. The wedding? Total disaster. Turns out Camille's groom, Bryce, found late-night texts from her ex the night before the wedding. A fight erupted mid-reception. Guests fled. Jillian tried damage control. Colin got drunk and belligerent. It was a wreck. And now, suddenly, they all needed me. Jillian's voicemails were predictable. If you'd been here, maybe Camille wouldn't have felt so cornered. Blame. Guilt. As if my absence was the problem, not their choices. A text from Aunt Noelle. "Things might have gone differently if you'd been there to keep the balance." That's what I'd always been. The peacekeeper, the safety net. The one who held everything together while they took me for granted. And now, they expected me to swoop in. I poured another drink and let the waves drown out the noise. I could have called Camille back. Could have listened to her cry. Told her it'd be okay like I always did. Could have let Jillian pull me back into their chaos. But I didn't. For the first time, I didn't feel that pull. The instinct to fix, to smooth, to sacrifice. They'd left me off the list. And now, they'd have to figure things out without me. I leaned back, wine in hand, and watched the sun set. The sea stretched out forever, silent and vast. Peace, real peace, and I wasn't giving it up for them. Not this time. I felt good, better than good, like I was finally settling into this new version of myself. The phone buzzed against the table. Rose's name flashing on the screen. I almost didn't answer, not wanting anything to break this moment. But something told me to pick up. "Hey," I said, leaning back in the chair. She didn't even say hello, just burst into laughter. So hard I could barely make out her words. "Oh my God, you missed a show," she finally managed, her voice cracking with glee. "Honestly, it was beautiful watching them realize what life is like without you keeping everything glued together." I set the wine down, a grin tugging, at my mouth, and listened as she spilled it all. After the wedding fell apart, things only got worse. Camille had a full meltdown in front of the guests, mascara streaking down her face when Bryce walked out, leaving her standing there in her big white dress. Jillian tried to play it off, flitting around with that tight smile. But Rose said you could see the panic in her eyes. She kept looking for someone to fix it, someone to take charge, and then it hit her. The only one who ever did that was me, and I was 3,000 miles away. Rose cackled through the phone, painting the picture. Collins slurring insults at the bartender. Noel whispering just loud enough for everyone to hear that it was all Jillian's fault. The DJ packing up early because no one was dancing. "They didn't know what to do without you," Rose said, catching her breath. "It was like watching ants when you kick the hill." I speared a piece of octopus with my fork and chewed slowly, letting her words sink in. I wasn't surprised. Not really. I'd always been the glue, the one who stayed steady when everyone else lost it. Birthday parties, holidays, fights over money. I was the guy who made sure the lights stayed on and the yelling stopped. And now, without me, they'd crumbled. I didn't feel sorry for them. I felt satisfied. Maybe, like karma had finally shown up right on time. Camille cried for an hour, Rose went on. Jillian kept saying he should have been here, like that would have saved the day. But you know what? They didn't want you there until they needed you. She paused, then added, "I'm proud of you for staying gone." I swallowed the food, the tangy lemon cutting through the richness, and took a sip of wine. "Yeah," I said, my voice low. "Me too." We talked a bit more, about her kids, about the weather back home, then hung up. I sat there the night, settling around me, the sound of waves mixing with the clink of dishes from the kitchen. The restaurant was half empty, just a few locals chatting over beers, and I liked how small it felt, how far away from everything I'd left. I pictured Camille in her dress, sobbing, Jillian spinning her excuses, and for the first time, it didn't hurt. It didn't pull me back. It just made me glad I was here, eating this food, drinking this wine, living this life they didn't get to touch. I finished the meal slowly, savoring every bite. The shrimp, salty and sweet. The fish, flaky and soft. The waiter brought me another glass of wine without me asking, and I nodded my thanks. The bill came, and I paid in cash, leaving a big tip because I could. I walked back to the villa under a sky full of stars, the path winding along the cliff, my sandals scuffing the stones. When I got in, I kicked them off, poured one last glass from the bottle on the counter, and stepped onto the balcony. The sea was black now, endless, and I stood there letting the breeze cool my skin. Rose's laugh echoed in my head, and I smiled. Really smiled. The kind that reaches your eyes. I went to bed with that feeling, the sheets cool against me, and slept deeper than I had in years. They'd finally figured out what I was worth, but I had too, and I wasn't giving it back.